5 minutes with Sean, maybe 10 here. Second week of July already. It is happening fast. I would be remiss if I didn't start today's show by saying happy anniversary to my wonderful and beautiful wife of 17 years as of a few days before this show goes live. I love you very much. And none of this, I mean, absolutely fucking none of this would be possible without you. All right. So recently, my beautiful wife and I were out on vacation, as most of you have been hearing about for the last couple of weeks. That's the beauty of the vacation is it's just content rich. I implore any content creator to explore all of the opportunities that vacation offers you to create content, every opportunity that you get. So I had my first EV experience. Are you ready for this? It was an EV bike. And not an EV bike like you think. No. It was an EV bicycle, but not even like an EV bicycle like I thought. Now, let's first start with my personal conundrum about an EV bicycle. So EV, at least as it was brought to the automotive industry, was brought here to make us cleaner, make us better, make us greener. Agreed? Agreed. So how the fuck does it make any sense that we put a battery on the most green form of transportation ever invented besides one's feet, which was a bike that you pedal? How did putting a battery on that make us better and greener? It didn't. It made us fatter and lazier. And I'm not trying to be rude at all, but it allows for you to cover a ton of ground while doing almost fucking nothing. Okay? So as someone who owns just a normal bike with a crank and a wheel and everything that goes with it, this EV bike experience was something that I was not ready for because it wasn't really true. This is basically a dirt bike with pedals and a battery. It was basically what this thing was. And it was cool because we were taking them off road. We were going up state forest roads. If you're not familiar, they're ragged. This had been a bunch of rain. There was flooding, huge gaps in these roads we're riding through. It was super fun. Okay. It was super cool. It's as close to a dirt bike as I'll probably ever find myself on, and most likely getting my wife involved in, because at first we were both walking up and I had seen the pictures online, but I just didn't really put it all together. And we walked up and there's like these little, Mad Max, these little bikes, these huge banana seats on them. They're pretty comfortable looking, but they were rugged. They were off-road looking. And so at first I'm like, God, I can't believe I'm doing this. As anyone who knows me knows I'm not really an EV guy, especially on bikes. And I always have this joke that all of the bike trails that I ride specifically say no motorized vehicles. That's like it's a fucking sign everywhere you enter in a path to get. It doesn't matter. You'll see it more than once. And so here I am. I'm the guy now with them. It's motorized, people. I don't know what the fuck you want to convince yourselves of. I don't know what you want to lie about. It's a motor. If it can get you to 25 miles an hour, as I did, it is a motor. So how is it allowed? I don't know. It's a weird gray area. Why is it a green thing? I don't know. It's not really, right? It's about fucking convenience. And that's breath of fresh air, right? To say it out loud, to admit to the fact that the EV thing in bikes is more about convenience than being green. Because if it were being green, you would never, and no one would ever be cool with EV bikes because it's just another gigantic battery that people don't know what the fuck to do with or dispose of. And even if they did, it's still taking the greenest form besides your feet and making it with a motor of something. I don't care how green that motor is. It's still not greener than no motor. So that was a struggle. It was ongoing. It really was. But I'll tell you what was more ongoing. The truth of it, range anxiety. Okay? So bike has a little gauge on the left. It's a circle. And the circle, just like your health in a video game, right? Circle ticks off, right? And he says, hey, it's about 6-7 miles up the hill. It's going to get rugged. You could be using more if you use more gas to go uphill. If you use more assist to go uphill, those things will definitely affect your battery life. But there was no direct discussion, and shame on me. There was no direct discussion about, dude, where you're going. If you go to the top of that mountain and back in 2 hours time, that's how long our rentals were. You have more than enough range. That did not happen. I did not ask. And I wasn't really thinking about range until I got on the bike, started to pedal, and was like, damn, these bikes are heavy. Hit an assist button. I was like, okay, these bikes are cool, like heavy, because it has a motor on it. Cool, because I'm going uphill faster than I normally would, and I'm going to be able to cover more ground with this thing than I ever would. So we're riding along on this trail. We're having a blast. My wife loves puddles, and it just rained. She's cruising through puddles. We're just acting like kids. We're having an absolute fucking blast, okay? We come up to where I was told on the map, you're going to come here, left turn onto the forest road. Look at this forest road, and it is washout. Again, anyone who knows what a forest road and washout looks like, this is this road. I looked at her. She looked at me. I'm like, you want to do this? She's like, fuck yeah. I'm like, all right, let's go. So we start hovering down, boom, 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 riding it, seeing it, like just being able to go up, have a blast, passing people who were hiking on this forest road because we were going up to a peak, a trail peak. And so at the end of the trail road, or end of the forest road, is where the trail begins. So most people would not be able to take their cars up there. I learned later, people certainly did, but most people's cars really would not want to traverse that. And so we were passing hikers, and it felt weird, but whatever. You're on this thing. You're trying to go out and trying to have fun. Anyways, range anxiety starts kicking in as I'm going up the hill using this throttle. I'm starting to see this thing go down. I'm thinking, oh my God, how are we going to get these things back if they die? How are we going to get these things back if they don't work? And I was never really concerned about regular things like chain coming off or a flat tire, like I should have been in these, but these things were set up for that. The tires were a little deflated. They were fatter, wider, like we were built for where we were. So in that case, it was cool. It was comforting. But what it was a little bit of anxiety. Now, top of the hill, do the hike, come back, turn on my bike, see that my bike still has more than half range. And I'm thinking to myself, if it's got more than halfway and I'm already halfway into my trip because I'm just turning back, then I'm fucking good. So then I blasted, going downhill, having way too much fun, being probably way too reckless. And again, only even traversed this road because I had a motor in my bike. Even on my own bike, which is a hybrid off-road, on-road bike, I would have never taken it up this thing. There's not a chance in fuck. Too much loose gravel. Your bike wouldn't have gone anywhere. You would have been walking your bike more than you would have been riding it. I would not have done it. I would not have done it. So I did do it. And then we came back and we passed people who were on regular bikes. And I know what I say when I pass someone on an EV bike, because it's obvious. Like, right, I'm not fucking paddling here, people. I am flying down this trail. I am not pedaling. I mean, I'll give you a pedal or two to make people feel better. But when we were going uphill traversing rocks, this thing had a little power trigger on it. It was just a dirt bike to me. I was standing. I was keeping myself up, pedaling further stuff from my mind. So that's where my fat and lazy joke came in, because at the end of the day, that's what ends up happening is if you start to let this, if this was my way of life, then I would have no reason to like bike. So now I get home and the first thing I do is hop on my bike and go ride it. And it was so weird. It was not fulfilling in the beginning. It was afterwards, definitely after I finished my trip of my regular bike once arriving home. But I will tell you that if you have a chance to do it, it's super fun. It's super fun. It's super fun. Does it change my my feelings on EV? No, because it still takes a bike and puts a fucking battery on it. So no, there's nothing green about an EV bike. Sorry to bust. Hippie at heart, Grateful Dead, got Birkenstocks on. That's not what this is. I'm sorry. This is about convenience. This is about making things easier, I guess. I don't know. You could go a long way. At the end of the day, I was always joking with my wife that, man, have we ever got an RV? I don't want to tow a car. And now I thought, I don't have to. I'll get 2 of these things. I'll be done. I'll cruise through town. I get it for resort communities, but I get it. Day to day, I wouldn't want anything to do with that because I use my bike for fitness. I use my bike to get out and explore in a different way. And on those things, it's about point A to point B. On my bike, I'm taking them left to right. On those things, it's just you want to get ahead. That was my experience. I'm sure that's what none of you thought you were going to hear today when Sean says he wants to talk to you about all things EVs. But we touched on a lot of different things about EVs because they all come together. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll do it all again next week.